Welcome back, guys. Here in this particular session we'll be talking about the social economics, right? So in the social economics, guys, first of all we shall be talking about the social groups. Now if we talk about social groups, guys, there could be two categories in the social groups. One could be the temporary and one could be the permanent, right? So we shall be talking about some terms which are coming under the temporary social groups, and one term which we'll be discussing, that will be the band, okay, that is coming under the permanent social groups, right? So here we are talking about the social groups. Now if we talk about social groups, as I told you that social groups might be divided into two categories over here, that one is temporary and other one is the permanent, right? Temporary and the permanent, right? In the temporary we shall be talking about the term such as crowd, first of all, right? Crowd. If anything happens, if some accident happens, the lot of people will be gathering around, right? This is the crowd. They are not having any kind of leader, they are not having any kind of organization which is leading them, right? It's just a random group of people and they are just looking what happened, what just happened and all, right? That is the crowd basically. So what is crowd, guys? The crowd is simply means it is motivated by the common interest. What is the common interest? Some people are fighting, right? That could be the common interest. So it is motivated by common interest, right? Some accident happened and that could be the common interest for the public, right? Common interest, right? Usually they do not have any leader, right? There is no leader usually as far as crowd is concerned, right? And they are not having, there is no internal organization. There is no internal organization as such if we talk about the crowd, right? Why I'm telling you all of these things over here? Because examiner will try to confuse you with these terms, right? Do they have any organization? Do they have any leader? No, crowd is not having any kind of leader, right? Second term which we shall talk about over here, which you might have heard about this very commonly in the news media and all, that is mob, right? So over here, what is the difference between the crowd and the mob, right? Basically, if the crowd will be having leader, then it will be called as the mob, right? So it is the crowd having a leader, right? Crowd, if the crowd is having a leader, then it will be called as the mob, right? Usually this mob is unstable, right? Usually there is no internal organization as far as mob is concerned, right? No internal organization. It is motivated by some emotional task, the leader will be telling them, okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, so then they will be doing this, right? So they are emotionally charged, right? For example, some terrorist organization have organized some people, right? They have organized some 30-45 people, 50-60 people, and they are motivating them, yes, you have to do this, you have to attack that particular organization, you have to attack those particular people, and they are emotionally charged, right? And that is mob, because they are having they are having one leader, right? And they are emotionally charged. That crowd, because they are having the leader, these people will be called as the mob, right? The next term which we shall talk about is the temporary social groups, right? The next term which we shall talk about in the temporary social group category, that is the herd, right? What is the herd now? Now herd basically it is having the leader, it has the leader, right? And these members, right, they will be following his leader, they will be following his or her leader, they will be following their leader religiously. They will not ask any single question, they will be blindly following them. For example, there could be the several kind of organization, there could be several kind of religious organization and all, right? Obviously with due respect, some organization can be there where the people are following blindly, right? So there could be different things. I'm just giving you the example over here, right? So members following leaders blindly, following leaders religiously, right? Leaders blindly, right? Without asking question, okay? So that is the herd. Now we shall be talking about the permanent social group. In the permanent social group, you just need to remember one example over here, that is the band, right? That is the band over here, right? So in the band, basically we need to remember that this is the permanent band. First of all, this is a permanent special group, a permanent special group which is actually contains fewer families. It contains few families, right? For an example, there could be the village, there could be the town, there could be any city, right? So example could be village, city, town, okay? These are the band, towns, etc. Okay, so this is the permanent category, this is the permanent social group, right? Now we shall be talking about the family life cycle, right? So what is the family life cycle? Here you are seeing that basically the families are not a constant, right? They are ever changing, right? We are having generation and all of these things, having 6 phases over here, and these phases sequence also has been asked in the exam, so please remember the sequence as well. What is the sequence over here? The first of all, there is a formation, right? Then there is extension, then there is a complete extension, then there is contraction, then there is complete contraction, and then there is dissolution, right? Then the dissolution. How it is happening? So in the formation, we are seeing that first of all there is a marriage, right? Okay, and how this phase is ending? There will be the child birth, right? This is the first child birth. Then when the first child will be birth, that is the beginning phase in the extension. Then the extension will be coming, the birth of first child, then it will be ending with the birth of last child. Complete extension will be starting from birth of last child, and then the first child will be leaving the home for the studies purpose or for the job purpose or for something else, right? In the contraction phase, first child will be leaving the home, and last child will be first child will be leaving the home, last child will be leaving the home, right? It will be ending like that. Complete contraction, last child will be leaving the home, first spouse will die, and in the dissolution, first spouse will be dying, and it will be ending with the death of the survivor. Basically, first of all, there is a formation of the family, right? You'll be having the marriage, and then the birth of first child, birth of second child, okay, all of these things. Then there is a formation, then there is extension, then the complete extension, then contraction, complete contraction, dissolution. So it is like this graph, right? So first of all, there is a what is happening? There is a formation, right? Then there is a extension, then there is a complete extension, right? Then there is a dissolution, complete dissolution, and at last complete contraction, and last dissolution, right? This is the family cycle. What are the types of family which we shall talk about over here? So let's talk about the types of family as well, right? So here we are having, first one, that is the nuclear family. Nuclear family, basically this is containing the, right, it is containing the father, mother, and the children, right? Then the extended family is containing the father, mother, children, with that unmarried relatives of wife or husband, right? Then we are having the joint family. In the joint family, everybody is living together, father, mother, children, and the married relatives of wife or husband and all. And then there are the single parent family, where the father or mother, right, single parent only, either father, either mother, right, or the children only, right? Then we shall be having some more types. For an example, what is the problem family, right? Problem family, where there are some problems running in the family, right? There are some problems running in the family. These families are lagging behind, right, from rest of the community, lags behind from rest of the community, right? There could be some dispute going on in this family and all of these things, right? Now next term which you need to remember, that is the new family. New family is the nuclear family only, which is younger than 10 years. For example, there is a married couple lesser than 10 years, right? So they have not completed their 10th marriage anniversary. I'm talking about that particular couple, right? So basically, nuclear family is the nuclear family only, right? But younger than 10 years. That is very important to remember, guys, because that is the thing which they are going to ask you. Younger than 10 years, that is the new family. So nuclear family younger than 10 years, that will be the basically this is the married family only. This is the married couple which is not older than 10 years, right? That is the thing over here. Okay, anyways, guys, let's move further and let's talk about what is the broken family. Yeah, broken family, it's a kind of very unfortunate family where there might be the fight between the husband and the wife, and they could have separated by the divorce and all of those things, right? So that is the thing over here. So disrupted by separation through either through divorce or death, separation, divorce, or death. Okay, so that will be the broken family, right? There is one more family I would like to mention over here, that is a communal family, right? Communal family. So communal family is basically talking about the all members, they are playing their own roles, right? So all members are important over here, all members playing their part, all members playing their part in management of family, playing their part in the management. That is called as the communal family. For example, you are having some role, your sister is having some other role, your brother is having some different role, your father is having some different role, your mother is having some different role. So everybody is playing their own part in management of the family, right? That is called as the communal family, right? Now we shall be talking about the socio-economic status. right? Now let's talk about the SES, that is the socio-economic status. Yes, so it is very important, guys, for the exam point of view. So let's talk about that. What is the socio-economic status over here, right? Basically, it is a person's status in the society, in the societal hierarchy. It is a person hierarchy in the, it is the, what is the status of the person in the society, what is the status of the person in the societal hierarchy, that is called as this socio-economic status, right? So it signifies the status of person in the society, right? Okay, it might be usually inherited by the occupation, by the type of housing, and what is the income status and all of those things, right? There could be some people that their father is businessman, so the son is also businessman, or the daughter is also businessman. That could be the case, right? So that is the thing over here. Now here we should be remembering one scale, right? And according to the scale, for what purpose we are using it for, right? So this is very important scale, by the way, guys. The three scales I'm going to talk about over here, they are very, very important for our exam purpose, right? So please remember them. First scale which I'm talking about over here, this is the BG Prasad scale. Second one which I'm talking about over here, this is the Kuppuswamy scale, right? This is the Kuppuswamy scale. And the third one which I'm talking about over here, this is the Udai Pareek scale. This is the Udai Pareek scale, right? So BG Prasad scale, basically it is used for the urban and the rural areas, both of them, urban and the rural areas, right? If we talk about the Kuppuswamy scale, it is used for the urban and the peri-urban areas, and if we talk about the Udai Pareek scale, it is used for the rural areas exclusively, rural areas only, right? So usually very easily they are asking you the question that what is the scale which is used for the urban and peri-urban areas. That is a Kuppuswamy scale, has been asked twice in the exam. Okay, I'm just asking you. Otherwise BG Prasad scale and Udai Pareek scale are equally important. They might also be tested in your MCQs, right? Okay, guys, we shall be having some other scales also. Sometimes question is question they are asking once in the NEET PG, they have asked us that which of the following scale is not used for the socio-economic status, right? So in that case you will be knowing these three scales, but other than that we are having other scales also, right? So for example, other scales which we are having, we shall be naming them over here. We shall be having the Radhukar scale, we shall be having the Jalota scale, right? We shall be having the Bhardwaj scale, right? We shall be having the Kulshesht scale, right? Or Bhardwaj scale, we shall be having the Kulshesht scale, we shall be having the Srivastav scale, and we shall be having the Holling-Sheed scale. Okay, so these are some scales which we need to remember, which we shall remember. Okay, usually you just need to have the name in your mind, so that these are the scales which shall be used, but otherwise the three which I told you very important are, these are the three, this one, and Kuppuswamy scale has already been tested in your MCQs, right? Now some important terms about, some important few points about the Kuppuswamy scale over here, right? About the Kuppuswamy scale. Okay, some salient features, some salient points about the Kuppuswamy scale over here, right? It was actually introduced in the 1976. It was introduced in the year 1976, right? And it was later modified to the modified Kuppuswamy scale. So it has been later modified into the modified Kuppuswamy scale, right? Later has been modified to the modified Kuppuswamy scale, right? So this is the modified Kuppuswamy scale which we shall talk about over here, right? This is the modified Kuppuswamy scale which you can see, right? So here what we can see is that you should be remembering these values. For example, 26 to 29, this is coming for the upper class. This is for the upper class over here, right? So 26 to 29 for the upper class, and for the lower class it is the below 5, right? So it is ranging, right? It is ranging between 3 to 29. I will be talking about that. Okay, so final score which is ranging over here, that is, right, the final score of the modified Kuppu scale, right? So the final score which is ranging over here, that is in between 3 to 29. So very, very important over here. So over here we can see below 5 it can go till 3, right? It can go till 3, right? So that is the thing. So it is the final scale will be the 3 to 29. Okay, that is important. So 26 to 29, that is for the upper class over here. Below 5, that is for the lower class, right? 26 to 29, that will be the for upper class. 16 to 25, upper middle. 11 to 15, lower middle, and 5 to 10, upper lower. Very, very important table over here. From this particular topic, this is the very high yield topic, the very high yield important table over here, guys. Please do remember this. What is a modified Kuppuswamy scale? Very frequently it has been asked. Whenever you will be revising this chapter, okay, and you are lacking the time, please go through this table, right? Modified Kuppuswamy scale, right? And second thing which I would like to mention over here, which you need to remember over here, please remember this part also, that it is containing what important aspects, right? So 3 important parts are there for this modified Kuppuswamy scale. One, I told you the table ranging final score from 3 to 29, modified Kuppuswamy scale, introduced in the year 1976, which I told you, right? And this is the 3 parts, right? What are the 3 components of the modified Kuppuswamy scale? So 3 components of the modified Kuppuswamy scale over here are mentioned. That is the first one, that is the education of the head of the family, occupation of the head of the family, and monthly income for that particular family. Total family, total per capita family income per month, right? So that is these are the 3 components which we need to remember as far as this is concerned, right? All of these data is not necessary to remember all of these things, right? Now we shall be talking about the doctor-patient relationship, right? For the doctor-patient relationship, this is very important for us to understand. It actually relies on 3 important points, right? So we should be able to communicate well with our patient, right? So there are 3 factors on the basis of which we should be having that communication skill, right? So the better communication skill the doctor will be having towards their patient, the better will be the result, better will be the outcome with that particular patient, right? So better will be the outcome in the diagnosis cases and in the treatment as well. So first component which we shall remember over here, that communication on the level of emotional plane, communication on an emotional plane, right? Communication on an emotional plane, right? Second one, communication on an cultural plane, right? Cultural plane. And third one, communication on an intellectual level or intellectual plane, right? So we should be emotionally attached with the person, right? We should be understanding, we should be telling them that everything is fine, right? And I'm understanding what you are saying right now, right? Second thing is culturally, to what background the person is related to, right? So that is also the thing, whether the person will be able to spend that much amount of money on your diagnostic, on your treatment, all of those things. So we shall be understanding these things that from what culture or from what kind of locality this person is coming to me, right? That is also the thing. And third thing about the intellectual level. So we should be understanding the intellect for the person, on the intellectual level also we should be communicating by the patient, right? Communicating with the patient. Okay, after that we shall be talking about the interviewing, right? We shall be talking about the interviewing, right? Interviewing is basically the method which is widely used for any kind of investigation and the research, right? So it is a method it is a widely used method used for investigation and the research purpose, So we shall be having different interviews, right? We shall be having the different categories, we shall be having the different types of the interview basically. So first type which we shall talk about, that is the structure type of the interview, right? So this shall also be called as the formal interview, guys. This shall also be called the formal interview. Unstructured interview shall also be called as the informal, or I would say informal. Sorry, I would be saying that informal interview. Okay, informal interview. So here we are reading that structured interview, basically the interviewer is actually using a pre-planned questions, right? So here you are seeing that basically the interviews, a lot of interviews you are seeing in the television and all. So basically one interview is type that they will be giving the list of questions to their client, to their guest, right? And they will be giving that time that you shall be actually preparing these questions, we will be asking only these questions, okay, and then we shall be continuing this particular interview, right? Okay, fine. One is this kind of interview. This is called the formal interview, that already if I am the guest, for an example, then I am having the list in my hand, okay, before the interview, and I will be preparing those questions and I will be directly going to the interview. So that will be called as the formal interview, right? This is the formality kind of thing. Now then there is an informal interview. Informal interview means these are the unstructured interview, right? Here if I am a guest and you are interviewed, right, you will be asking your random question and I am not knowing about them, right? So this is kind of a very natural interview. This is an informal interview. So whatever I will be thinking, okay, I will be telling those things, right? So this is kind of a good interview. Here there is no formalities, and here the person will be speaking from their heart, right? So whatever they are thinking at that point of time, what are their views, they will be telling them, right? In the formal interviews, usually the answers are prepared by somebody else, right? And they're just speaking their answers, right? Whoever is writing those answers. In the informal interview, the person is giving their own answers, right? Usually at that point of time, what is the thinking, what are their opinions, and all of these things they will be telling frankly, right? So structured interview, unstructured interview. Structure is the formal interview, unstructured is the informal interview. Structured interview will be having, the guest or the interviewer and the guest, okay, both of them will be knowing about the questions, both of them, and are knowing that what question they are going to ask, and the guest is knowing that what question I will be asked, right? And they will be having the answers in their mind already. That is the structured interview, formal interview. Unstructured one, that is more natural as compared to the formal one. Here this guest will not be having the idea of what questions they will be asking, so they will be answering those questions at that point of time. What are they thinking and what are the opinions, they will be sharing them, right? Some two more types I would like to mention over here as far as these interviews are concerned. One is the focused interview, right? What is the focused interview? So I'm just writing focused interview, right? In the focused interview, basically this is used to study the effect of mass communication, right? So here we are study effects of mass communication, right? Study effects of mass communication, right? Like radio or the news media and all, like the radio, news media and all of those things. Radio, news media, right? So all of these things. So focused interview, basically it studies the effect of mass communication, right? So basically it will be showing something on the news media, or it will be telling something on the radio, and how the people are reacting to that. That is called as the focused interview, right? And then we shall be talking about the next one, that is the repetitive interview, right? Repetitive interview. Repetitive interview means some news they will be telling, okay, basically on a repetitive mode, right? After a few days, after a few weeks and all of those things, and they will be checking the response from the people, right, regarding that. Okay, so basically here we shall be saying that it is actually used to note the gradual influence. It is actually not to usually to note the gradual influence of some social or psychological process. Right? For an example, there was a CM or there was a PM, right? What are the views of the people? Let's say, or what are the views of the people regarding that particular post last year? What the people are thinking about the CM or PM last year, and what they are thinking now, right? So all of these things they might be considering under the repetitive interview and all. So some social psychological process, right? Usually the record is maintained to understand the changes, that what changes are coming over here, right? So usually the records are maintained here. Record is maintained usually, right, to understand the changes, And this was asked once, right? This was asked once that this was asked once in the MCQ, that record is maintained over there. In which of the interview the record will be maintained? That will be the repetitive interview, right? So guys, this was about the social economics, where the important highlight feature of this session was the Kuppuswamy scale and the other scales which I have talked about in the socio-economic status, right? So that was about the social economy, and I will be seeing you in the next one. Thank you.